G'day and welcome to a Microkeeper product update. I'm joined here today by our Head of Development, Joel. Joel, thank you so much for joining us.
G'day, Shane. Good to be here, as always.
Indeed, even if it's from a distance at the moment. But yeah, we've got a few things to go over today, so it is without much further ado that I want to get into things. And let's just go and get started with some of the things that we want to discuss today. I'm just going to bring them up on screen. All right, so these are the 6 subjects that we'll speak about today. If you want to skip ahead to your subject or topic, you can click the timestamps below. So the first thing to touch on is the Payslip Notes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that change and what it does and maybe the benefits that it can bring to people as well?
Yeah, sure thing. So this new feature allows employers to add notes to the payslips. So it allows 3 levels of notes. You can add a note to the individual payslip for a particular pay run. You can add a note that goes on all payslips for that particular pay run, or we can also add a note for every single payslip that's ever been generated in the system. Which if you've got like sort of award requirements or something along those lines, you can add a note there too. And that's like backdated as well, so it'll go across every single payslip.
Great. There's a change that I noted on in the way employees can submit details when submitting paperwork, in a sense.
Yeah, so a request that we had from some of our customers was they often have legal obligations to check that certain license numbers are validated. So, for example, like a nursing registrar license or something like that. So when they do their onboarding, they can fulfill some of those things. I don't think we have an example here, but let's say this was one working with children's check. I fill out my form, I resume it, and then there we go. Yep, response required. So there's an example of a response. Well, this also requires a document to be uploaded, so I won't complete it, but that response will then get saved. So then the HR manager responsible for checking this, they can download that and then check it in their own internal systems, make sure that their license is still valid or it hasn't expired or something along those lines.
Yeah, great. And indeed, that's one of those features I think even we got a question about in one of our latest webinars. So it's great to see how quick that turnaround. I think you guys had it developed within a few days after that feature request came through. So that was definitely keeping the finger on the pulse there.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy one, so it was good to get it out.
It's always nice when the requests are easy when they come in.
Yeah.
A quite big development that I've seen that we've done is with the super onboarding, and it's something that we've touched on in the previous video, and there is a video available on YouTube about it as well on how to do it. But I just wanted to touch upon it again in this video as well for people who might have missed that.
Yeah, so if the employee doesn't have their super details, they can click Start Super Setup. If they do have their details, they can just select from the funds, the whole list of funds. If they don't have one or would like to sign up to QSuper, and time's precious especially, they can select QSuper, go I'm new to QSuper, and then just go through all the options there.
Awesome. That's a really, really fast and easy way of doing it, rather than going while you're onboarding anyway, rather than going off on a hunt online to find everything and then sign up and then wait to get things back. It's all done then and there. So that's great. So yeah, that was definitely a big one, and I think we've seen the people that have taken it up giving really positive feedback about it. Then another one that I've heard a lot of positive feedback about is the shift rules, the layout that we've applied to the shift rules configuration.
Yeah, so we made some changes here. As companies we attract seem to be bigger and bigger, we find if you've got a lot of shift rules, it can be quite complicated dialing in and focusing in on the ones you really need to look after. So, for example, if I've got a casual list of casual rules, I can select casual, and then just show the rules that relate to that group of people, or might be via a group. of staff, or a name possibly. So I could go like all the night shift rules, and I can check all those. And this just allows the setup team and people making adjustments to these rules a bit more flexibility and power to hone in on those rules that they're trying to tweak and get working correctly.
Another one that we might touch on a little bit on a higher level because it's quite in depth and quite a big new thing is the roles module. And people that want to find out more about that and are not happy with how deep we go into that today, they can definitely contact their account manager as well. But can you tell us a little bit about what the roles module is and how it came about?
Yeah, sure thing. So a lot of businesses, especially larger businesses, they have sub-tasks that people need to do or roles within those businesses. So within the location, you can now configure additional roles. So roles could be anything from like area manager, security guard one, things like that, chefs, runners, whatever it might be. Every business will break that down differently. So when we set location, so if we go to the roles area, we can create a list of roles, and then we can assign which roles can be done at which locations. So we've got this location here, and these are the roles that we want. But we checkbox the ones we want them to be able to work on at that location. Then when we do our rostering, check that, display that, we can see the different areas. So these were previously not assigned to a role, so we'll just need to move them up into a role that they may have needed to go to. And we've got the other two areas that we can start adding shifts to as required. And so on. So now the employee knows, I'm the manager of this site, and that's at a particular location.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a big one. And definitely if you need help with setup there, if you're one of our clients that is interested in going ahead with that, contact your account manager either via email or via phone and say that you want to discuss it, and we can help you get that going. Because obviously there's a lot of setup behind that as well, because payrolls will have to be applicable to certain rules as well. So it's not just a quick turning on of a button in that sense.
Yeah, because roles can also have certain skills assigned to them as well. So a certain role might require, you need to assign the drug and alcohol policy or something along those lines. So different roles have different skills, and that can all then tie into that. So then you've almost got who can work in what roles and do those checks before they start their shift.
Yeah, cool, because that will be an important thing as well during rostering as well. Say that, for instance, one of the roles is that you have someone who has to operate a crane or anything like that. They have to have, as a requirement, they have to have that license. And then when you're rostering, it'll automatically showcase the people as available, the ones that actually pass the skills for that role required.
That's correct, yeah. So there on that drop down, I've got these are the people who have done all the skills that are required for that role. And if they haven't done the skill, you can still roster them. They'll just be in the unskilled area as they are on the drop down list. Yeah.
So if they haven't gotten their paperwork in order yet, but you know that they do qualify for that role, then you might just give them and say, hey, get that thing in order. Okay, cool.
Let it slide that one time, yeah.
Yeah. It just might be a good reminder for them to do it. No, great. That's definitely a big one. And I noticed that when we're recording the screen, sometimes drop-down menus are not viewable on a screen recording always. So but if people want to see it, like, they can always contact us and we can take them through it with. We can do screen share as well and showcase them how these things work. So definitely happy to help you there as well. The last one is also ties into rostering in a sense. And that's something that we might even expand on in the future. But for now, there's this thing called roster confirmation.
Yep, so that can just be turned on in the global settings. I'll just making sure that's on. That way, when the employee goes to see their roster, we may not have any available.
I think there might be one in week 18 or something. I haven't updated the demo account for a while.
There we go, week 23. Yeah, so now they've just got the decline accept feature. So if they, let's say we accept a few and decline a couple, that now lets the admin team that are doing the rostering know which shifts that employee can't work, and they can quickly see that on the roster too. Also tie well into a feature we're looking to build in the near future, which is going to be called roster auctions, which will basically let staff, any declined shifts can then be put up for auction, and other staff can fill those shifts, but that's something that's probably a few months away still.
And obviously as well, like you showed at the very beginning, like this feature can be turned on or turned off. Like I noted for some clients, they might not want to give people the option to decline a shift for now. But there's always the global access for those kind of things as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and it's good to go through these things, and definitely it's something that I want to do in 2021 a little bit more of, so that we can see your face a bit and go through the changes, so that our clients can keep on top of all the updates and all the stuff that you guys are working on. And like you said, there's already a few big things in the works, so it'll be an exciting year ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Happy to share all our exciting things we've worked on and hope to work on in the near future.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thank you for everyone joining us and having watched this video. If you need any further information, feel free to contact us through our website or just give us a call over the phone, and we'll be definitely happy to help you out. Cheers.